Good evening, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me live tonight. We're going to be playing with the Flowering Tulips, which is in the new mini catalog, and I'll show you that in just one moment. For those of you that are joining me live tonight, my name is Tammy Capone, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I am just going to my Facebook page to see my live so that I can see your comments. If you're joining me tonight and you want to comment, like, share my post, that would be greatly appreciated. That helps to get my viewership out there. And I also, at the end, when I end my live, I put all of your names into a drawing to win the card that we're making tonight, and I will send that to you for you to be able to use. Let's see, I am on my page. Just one moment. I see that Mana is joining me tonight. Hi, Mana. Thank you for joining me. Alright, so like I said, we're going to be playing with a new set. It is in the mini catalog. And this mini catalog just launched in January, so we are in the month of February. So I just wanted to remind you that any orders that you do, you will also, if you do a $50 order, $100 order, you'll receive free celebration items, which I have been using for the last several weeks. This set that we're using tonight is not free. This is in the mini catalog, and it is part of a really cool suite that I wanted to show you what that looks like. So this is the Flowering Field set. As you can see, it's a really gorgeous, fun spring set using tulips, and I thought it was really cool. So it's got the windmill, which I thought was really neat. So this little image right here, bring it up a little bit closer, is the stamped version, and then this one down here is the die cut if you have a die cutting machine. So I thought this was a really cute, fun set. So tonight we're just going to be playing with the tulips. If you want to comment, if you've got the tulip set, if you had a chance to play with it, let me know what you think of it. So tonight we're only going to be playing with the stamps. I do have the dies, so we'll do that on another day. But I wanted to show off a pretty simple, easy card just using the stamp set alone. So the paper is absolutely gorgeous. So you're going to see that we're playing with this pattern tonight. So all of these are double-sided, so you get 12 sheets, 2 of each of these 6 double-sided. So this is one side. So this is the set we'll be playing with. And then we'll also be using the opposite. This green pattern is really pretty. So then we've got these red and Blushing Bride and the white tulips. And on the back it's really cool. It kind of looks like clouds. I think that was a really fun pattern. So we've got the gorgeous orange, which is really pretty. And then on the back side, it's got little like white flowers. That's a really fun, subtle print. We've got the red with the little white polka dots. Kind of fun, reminds me of strawberries. So then on the back is the different reds and pinks. Again, kind of like a cloud look to it. And then we've got the same print that you just saw, but this is a little bit bigger. And it's almost like an evening evergreen type green. It's like an ombre look, which is kind of pretty. And then we've got the little purple tulips. And then on the back is just the purple. So this is a really pretty fun set. So with that suite, you can also get the pretty ribbon, which is called Evening Evergreen. And it's white and evening evergreen. And then we'll also be using the brass butterflies, which are really super fun. And the one thing I like about them is they're pretty flat. They're not too much dimensional to them, so that's perfect too for when you're sending cards in the mail. You don't want that heavy bulk to them. So I'm just going to show you some of the samples that they have in the catalogs with the tulips. And with the pretty windmill. So I can't wait to get my hands on this to play with that. And as you can see, it's got the tulip fields. So that's kind of cool. So you can see that they've stamped it right in there, and then they've just cut it out, or and they've done the field. So I thought that was really cute. It comes with a little bike. I think that was pretty fun. So it's a pretty cute set. So we're going to be playing with that tonight. I'm just checking to see who is joining me. I see Vicky's got some laughing faces on there. And Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Tara. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Jen. And Amber's on here, and Catherine. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. So if you want to comment, like, share, I will enter you into a drawing to win this card for free, and you'll be able to send it out to a family member or a friend. So I did a poll on my Facebook page, the red versus the purple, and I have to say the purple won. So we're going to be making the purple card tonight. I know a lot of people really love purple. So red is actually my favorite color, so I did a little bit of one of each. So, and as you can see, it's a really fun fold. So when you open it up, it's got excuse me. So it's got the pretty patterned paper here, and then I flipped it and did the opposite side on there. And I've got for the scallop contour, I'll show you the die cut that I used to do the white scallop. Is I just ran this through my machine, and I've already pre-cut them all out, so I've done a couple. So we're going to use 2 of these for our card tonight. Set that aside. Alright, so we are going to do the purple one tonight. So I'm going to show you how I cut. So with a piece of paper, when I cut this up, I like to be able to get 6 cards at least when I'm using a 4 by 5 1/4 sheet. You can usually get 6 out of one whole 12 by 12 sheet. Alright, let's get my paper trimmer. Thank you, Mana, for sharing the post. Alright, so I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. So with our Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you get a cutting blade and you get a scoring blade. Kind of nice just to have one tool to be able to do both of those with that. So I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. Alright, so then we also have to cut this in half. So because it is 4 inches, I'm going to cut it right in half at 2 inches. So I've got my 2 pieces that we are going to be putting right there. So I don't have to trim those down anymore. So I've already cut my sheet at 5 1/2 already. So I'm actually going to show you how I did all my scoring. I hope you guys can see. Bring it down just a little bit more so you can see. Alright, so we're going to score, first of all, we're going to score in the middle of our card, and we're going to score at 4 1/4. So I'm going to line that right up. Use our scoring blade, which is the gray one. And I'm just pressing down a little firmly because this is a thicker quality paper. So I've already got that. So there's our card base. So now we need to score right in the middle. So we are going to score at 2 1/8. So I'm lining that up at 2 1/8. I'm actually going to do it the opposite way. It's easier for me to see. So we've got that right there. Alright, so we need to cut one more of these because we're going to use the back side for on the inside of the card. So I'm going to trim that down to 5 1/4. I think we have all of our cutting done. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece right into the inside. I know you're probably thinking, oh, you're covering up all that gorgeous paper. So we'll put this down. There we go. Got that down. So now I'm actually going to take this and I'm actually just going to center it right in the middle. And we're going to go ahead and glue that right down. And I'm not going to do any stamping on the inside. I'm just going to leave it just like that. But if you wanted to, you could definitely stamp, you know, another sentiment on the inside or do some tulips. But I'm just going to leave it just like this. So I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to do a really good job of getting those creases in because we are doing a fun fold. And I want to make sure that it all stays kind of flat. There we go. So we've got all that perfect. So with these, I just realized I need to cut them down 1/8 of an inch shorter because I want to make sure and get a little bit of a matte finish all the way around so that it matches up with the same size as we did this. So it is 1/4 of an inch shorter. So we're just going to cut 1/8 of an inch more off. So I'm just going to, it's going to be 2 lines below the 2-inch mark, which would be 1 7/8 of an inch. Tara said she's planning on making lots of cards tomorrow while getting lots of snow. Well, I have to say I'm really hoping for a snow day, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Sounds like it's supposed to hit a little bit later in the day. So I trimmed this down a little bit more. So as you can see, I've got the same consistency all the way around as I have in my the inside of my card. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just glue these pieces down. And we'll do the other one the same exact way on the inside. So does anybody have a favorite color tulip flower that they like? As you heard me earlier, red is my favorite color, so I really like the red ones a lot. But I think they're all pretty. Alright, so we've got these done on the inside. We've got our green background. We've got our scallop rectangle on the inside. So that is all ready to go. So I'm going to show you how I did all of my stamping. This is a 2-step stamping, so it's a little bit of fun. And then when we're done, we're actually going to put a little bit of glue just right up against the right hand side. And we're going to line it up with our second one. And that is how I did that. Alright, so let's get our tulips out. So I'm going to be using these 2 pieces, this one and this one. The sentiment that I chose to do is "You are so thoughtful." No, actually not that one. I did "Just Thinking of You" today because I've had a lot of people request "Thinking of You" cards. So I am going to be doing this one so that I can, so that you guys can send it to someone that you're thinking of. So 2-step stamping is actually a lot of fun to do. So if you're looking at the stamp set, you can see that this one has a little bit thinner of a line than this one does, and this one's a little bit thicker. So you would actually want to stamp with the thicker one first, because that's going to be the bottom, the base of your tulip, and then this is going to give it the more definition. So I'll show you the other card that I've already made. So as you can see, the dark purple is the more thinner of the line. So that is the definition. So that is what's going to be on top. So you're going to want to do that darker. So anything that you've got underneath that is going to be a lighter color. So we're going to use 2 different shades of purple. And I have chosen for the purple is the Fresh Freesia and the Rich Raspberry. I thought those look really pretty together, and I thought that that matched the tulips paper really well. Alright, I lost my other one. It's on the bottom of my case. Alright, so we'll get those on there. The other thing that I figured out when I was stamping is if you see how that single little tulip petal is all by itself, so this is going to be the right side. So as you can see, it's all by itself, this little one, and that's what we want to make sure that it's on the right. I did a little bit of playing with it on scrap paper to figure out exactly how to lay it all out on paper. So when I line it, I put it on my stamp, I'm making sure that this is the top, this single petal, and then it's on the right. It's always a good idea too, just to play on your scrap paper before you start designing on your paper, because once you mess up, then you've got to do another cutout and do a little bit more work. So we'll play with it a little bit on here, and then we're going to stamp on our contour scallop rectangle. So I'm just going to show you on the scrap paper first. So we're going to start with our lighter one, which is the Fresh Freesia. So I found the single petal, which is all by itself, and I'm going to stamp that down first. And then I'm going to show you how to go on top. So right up here in the right hand corner, I don't know if you can see in the camera, so that's the single petal. So I'm just lining it right up. I'm actually looking at the petal, lining those up first, and then looking at the bottom to make sure that I've got the bottom part lined up. So that's how I'm lining it all up. So it's just like that, so it matches right up. So I'm going to do that one right up in the left hand corner. So we'll start with our Fresh Freesia. I've kind of got the camera right in my way too, looking. Alright, so now we're going to go on top with our Blackberry Bliss. Hi, Shannon. So again, we're matching up to the petal to the bottom. That's how I'm looking at it. Make sure we get that all inked up really good. There we go. I love it. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how I did the other one. Get 2 more blocks. Alright, so we're going to be using this one and this one. So this one's actually kind of cool. It's kind of like a heart shape. So again, I'm actually going to show you on my scrap paper first how I did it all, how I lined it up, and then we are going to stamp it on our scallop rectangle. So I'm actually going to go backwards, and I'm going to start with the darker one first, because it was easier to line up the other petal after I stamped this one first. So I've got that all inked up really well. And as you can see, so these 2 little white pieces, they form a heart. That was how I lined this up, because it's the shape of a heart, and it lines up where the white tulip. Does that make sense? So I'm going to stamp this in the Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to line up the heart with the heart. So it doesn't color in the outside part, so it only colors in the middle. If you really wanted to, you could definitely just carefully go back over it, or you could color it, but I'm just going to leave it. So I thought it looked really cool, just like that. Alright, so now we're going to do our other one. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit to the side. So again, we're going to start with our darker Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just going to go off the side just a little bit. Now we're going to come in with our Fresh Freesia. Remember, we're matching up the 2 hearts on the tulip. There we go. Super pretty. Don't you like that? I love it. And I have to agree, the purple is definitely really pretty. So now I got my pear pizzazz, and we are going to be doing the stems. Alright, so we're going to start with our stem first. So with our stem, I'm actually, it's a little bit wider up at the top. So that's what we're going to put to the top of the tulip, is making sure that this top little piece measures right up and butts right up against it. So I'm going to curve a little bit. I'm making sure that it butts up against the flower. And it's going to come off the paper a little bit, and that's okay. So something to keep in mind is when you're inking up your acrylic blocks, if you get ink on there, you might want to make sure, especially with this, it's super thin and it's a little bit wobbly. So I'll just show you on the scrap paper. So when you're stamping and you accidentally go down, you're going to get a little bit of ink on your paper. So if you get ink on the round on your acrylic block, it's a pretty good idea to take, you know, a baby wipe and just wipe it off. You're spending so much time on your projects. You want to make sure that you're doing a really good job. There we go. Alright, so there is this stem part. So we're actually going to add the petals to the side. I'm actually going to clean this really quick. And I'm using a non-alcoholic wipe. So if you were using an alcoholic wipe, it would actually, over time, ruin your stamps. So make sure when you're wiping it, you're using a non-alcoholic stamp for that. Alright, so I've got my petal. I should say wipe, sorry. Alright, so I'm just checking the comments. So we're going to keep using the same green. So the nice thing about these petals that they have designed, and I will do it right here on the paper, is that you can stamp it any which way. There's no wrong way to use it, and you can't even tell the difference of which way it is. So that's the nice thing, is when you're stamping this, you can just, you'll see me do it, is I just keep going back and forth using the petal. So I'm going to do 3 of them. So I'm going to turn it and do the opposite side so that the petal comes off the other direction. And I'm actually going to, with this set, it comes with 2 different sizes. So this is the bigger one. So I'm going to use the smaller one and do that right in the middle of the 2 flowers. I agree with you. Anything we can do, Cheryl, to take away all these winter blues, making some spring cards. And I know this would definitely cheer up some of our, you know, family and friends that are cooped in the house. So this is what it looks like. So again, you can use this stem either way. And that's one of the nice things. Not having to have so many different stamps trying to figure out, you know, which side for what. I thought that was kind of nice that they designed it that way. So we're going to do this one. Ooh, we'll do it right there. That looks good. Alright, so there is our gorgeous tulips. Woohoo! They're so pretty. Move some of this out of the way. Alright. So like I said earlier, we're just going to put a little bit of glue right on the right hand side. We don't want to cover the whole thing up. And because you already know exactly where this bottom piece is, so we know to make sure and keep the glue in between there. So this Tombow glue is a pretty strong adhesive, so you really don't need a whole lot. It's going to stay. And the nice thing about it too is once you put this down, it doesn't stick right away. So you're able to kind of maneuver and move it around a little bit. So making sure it's evenly lined up. There we go. So I think what we'll do really quick before we move on to doing the sentiment. So these are the brush bass butterflies, and as you heard me say earlier in the video, these are pretty flat, which I really like. They're not super dimensional, super, thick, which is perfect for when you're shipping cards out in the mail. You don't have the extra bulkiness. So I really like these butterflies. They're absolutely gorgeous. Alright, so we're going to use my take a pick. We're going to use the putty side. I'm going to take it off. So once it starts to dry out, I just peel it a little bit off. And then you'll know that there's more putty in the inside because this is up. So once this gets all the way to the bottom, that's when the putty is done. So all I'm going to do is just twist it. And then more putty starts to come out. So I'm just going to flatten it a little bit onto my take a pick. And so that's what I use to get my butterflies off. So I'm just pushing down and I'm pulling them off. So these come in a large and small butterflies. So we're going to do a little bit of both. Put one up there, and we'll do one more small one. We'll do this one all the way to the left. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? That's absolutely beautiful. And I love that gold tone with these colors. It's really pretty. Alright, so you want to make sure you put your cap on there because your putty will dry out. And then last but not least, so I am using the circles, which unfortunately right now these are on back order, so you can't get these at the moment. But I am using the two smallest circles. So they come with just a straight edge, and then they also come with a scallop edge. And the nice thing is the scallop edge, as you can see, I am lining up my circle with the scallop. So the small one matches the small scallop, and so on, all the way up to the big one matches the big scallop. So that's really cool. So the sentiment we said we're going to do is thinking of you. I have one more block left. Thank you, Tara. I appreciate you saying that. Alright, so we're going to use our black Memento ink. We'll ink that up. Really good. So we've got Just Thinking of You. I like this font too. I thought the font was really pretty. Cover that up. So I'm going to put some glue on my white circle. We're going to put that down on the black circle. And then I have chosen to use my mini dimensionals. So I feel like the mini dimensionals are a little bit thinner than the regular ones that we sew. And I was trying really careful not to do too much thickness to this card because it is a fun fold. You've already got that extra thickness over to the side. So I'm going to put 3 mini dimensionals on the back of here. And we just have to pull the backing off. Alright. And then I'm just going to put it down in the right hand corner. And voila, we're done. So that is our card. So as you can see, this is a pretty simple and easy design that you can use. And you can make a whole bunch of them and mass produce them. So I would do all the cutting first and then do all the gluing on there, stamp everything, and put them all together. So let me know what you think about these. So these are the purple ones. And then I did a red one. And I started working on an orange one. I don't even know where that is. So once I get them all done, I'll post them to my page. But as you can see, this is a really fun spring set that you can do. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to put them in the comments. Again, if you comment, like, share on my post, I will enter you into a drawing for this card, the purple one that we made tonight. I'll either drop it in the mail or drop it off to you. Most likely drop it in the mail. And I just wanted to remind you, if you're interested in wanting to get some, joining my team and getting in on the discount, 20 to 25% off, you know, buying any of this to get started. The nice thing is, Stamp It Up for the month of February, they are doing where you can spend $99 plus tax, pick out $125 in either the annual or the mini catalog, and you get to pick out 2 free stamp sets. So this could be one of the stamp sets that you pick out for free. And again, that goes until February 28th. And let's see, I think that's it. That's all that's going on for now. So, oh, and the paper pumpkin, if you're interested in any of my kits, the paper pumpkin is a safari one that is going until February 10th to order. So keep an eye on my page. There's a lot of cool things coming up and that are going on. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay warm wherever you are, and I will see you next week. Bye.